Have you ever watched your baby struggle through tummy time? Red, faced, frustrated, crying, and thought, is this really worth it? Maybe you've skipped it a few times, maybe more than a few. You're not alone. And you're not a bad parent. But here's what nobody tells you: what's happening inside your baby's brain during those few minutes on their belly is so profound, so foundational, that skipping it doesn't just affect their muscles. It affects their mind. Researchers have known for decades that movement and brain development are not separate systems. They are the same system. And tummy time sits right at the center of that connection. By the time we get to what neuroscientists have found about prone positioning and cortical mapping, you'll never look at a few minutes on the playmat the same way again. Your baby, right now, needs this. And by the end of this, you'll never see your baby the same way again. Here's something most parents don't realize. Your baby's brain is not born complete. It arrives unfinished, on purpose. At birth, a baby's brain weighs roughly 25% of its eventual adult weight. By age 3, it will reach nearly 80%. That explosive growth happens in response to one thing above all others experience. Not flashcards, not apps, not Mozart through headphones, movement. A study published in the journal Neuron confirmed that motor experiences in early infancy directly shape the architecture of the developing cortex. The brain literally rewires itself based on how the body moves through space. And tummy time is one of the most powerful movement experiences a young infant can have. When your baby lies on their belly, everything changes. Gravity becomes a teacher. Every attempt to lift that heavy head is a neural signal firing. Every wobble, every struggle, every tiny success carves new pathways into the developing brain. This is not metaphor. This is neuroscience. Let's get specific, because this is where it gets really interesting. When your baby is placed on their tummy, they immediately face a challenge. Their head is heavy, their neck muscles are weak, and the floor offers no support for their face. Their brain has to solve this problem. To do that, it activates the vestibular system, the inner ear's balance and spatial orientation network. It recruits the proprioceptive system, the body's internal sense of where it is in space. It fires the visual system as the baby strains to lift their head and scan the environment. All of this happens simultaneously. All of it feeds directly into cortical development. Researchers at the University of Oregon's Brain Development Lab found that infants who received regular tummy time showed accelerated development in the sensoromotor cortex, the region of the brain responsible for coordinating movement and sensory input. These babies didn't just get stronger, their brains became more efficient at processing the world. Here's what most parents don't realize: the struggle is the point. When your baby pushes against the floor, strains their neck, and wobbles, that effort is not distress. That is your baby's brain building itself. Stay with me, because what comes next will surprise you. Tummy time doesn't just build arm strength, it builds the entire postural chain that will eventually allow your child to sit, crawl, stand, and walk. Here's how it works. When a baby lies on their tummy and lifts their head, they are activating the deep extensor muscles along the spine, muscles that run from the base of the skull all the way to the tailbone. These muscles are the foundation of every upright posture a human being will ever achieve. Without adequate tummy time, these muscles don't develop properly. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, babies who receive insufficient tummy time are at significantly higher risk for delayed gross motor milestones, including sitting, crawling, and independent walking. Some studies suggest delays of 2 to 4 months in crawling onset among babies who rarely experienced prone positioning. 2 to 4 months. That is not a small gap. That is a wide open window of development that quietly narrows. And here's the part that changes everything: gross motor delays in infancy are not just physical. They are neurological. The same neural circuits that coordinate crawling and walking also govern attention, spatial reasoning, and even early language processing. Your baby's first steps begin on the playmat. Here's where it gets really interesting. Most parents think of vision as something that develops passively. Babies just look at things and their eyes improve. But that's not how it works. Vision is an active, motor-driven skill. When your baby is on their tummy and straining to lift their head, their eyes are doing something remarkable. They are learning to track horizontal planes, judge distances, and coordinate with their hands, all at once. A landmark study from Harvard Medical School demonstrated that infants' visual motor integration, the ability to coordinate what the eyes see with what the hands do, is directly tied to the amount of prone time they experience in the first 6 months. Babies with more tummy time showed earlier and more accurate reach and grasp behaviors. Babies with less tummy time showed delays in hand-eye coordination that, in some cases, persisted into toddlerhood. Think about what hand-eye coordination means for your child's future writing, drawing, catching a ball, using a spoon, eventually typing on a keyboard. All of it traces back to a few minutes a day on the floor. Now here's what most parents don't realize. And this one genuinely surprised me when I first came across the research. Tummy time is one of the earliest and most effective forms of sensory integration therapy available to any infant. When a baby lies on their belly, they receive simultaneous input across multiple sensory channels: tactile input, the texture of the mat against their palms, their chin, their belly; proprioceptive input, the deep pressure of their own body weight pressing against the surface; vestibular input, the constant micro adjustments their body makes to maintain balance against gravity; visual input, the entirely new perspective of the world from ground level. The National Institutes of Health has documented that infants who receive rich sensory variety in early life show stronger neural integration across sensory systems by 12 months of age. That integration underlies everything from emotional regulation to learning readiness. A baby who struggles to process sensory input, who is easily overwhelmed by textures, sounds, or movement, often has a history of insufficient sensory variety in infancy. Tummy time is not just exercise. It is your baby's first sensory classroom. Let's talk about something that makes many parents uncomfortable: positional plagiocephaly. The flattening of one side of a baby's skull has increased dramatically since the Safe to Sleep campaign of the 1990s began recommending back sleeping to prevent seats. Back sleeping saves lives. That is not in question. But what accompanied the shift to back sleeping, without anyone planning it, was a dramatic reduction in the amount of time babies spent on their bellies while awake. The result? A nearly 6-fold increase in positional plagiocephaly cases, according to research published in the journal Pediatrics. But here's what the skull shape tells us about something deeper. The skull in infancy is malleable. It reshapes itself based on pressure. When a baby spends the majority of their waking and sleeping hours on their back, the back of the skull flattens. In moderate to severe cases, this can affect the position of the ears, the alignment of the jaw, and in rare but documented cases, intracranial pressure. More importantly, the muscles of the neck that remain underdeveloped due to lack of tummy time can develop asymmetrical tightness, a condition called torticollis, which creates a cascade of compensatory problems through the spine, shoulders, and hips. Pediatric physical therapists report that torticollis cases have risen in parallel with the decline in supervised tummy time. This is the reason your baby's pediatrician keeps asking about it at every well visit. Here's the practical question every parent needs answered. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends beginning tummy time from day 1, even in the hospital, if possible, and building toward a total of at least 30 minutes per day by the time a baby reaches 3 months of age. 30 minutes sounds like a lot, but it doesn't have to happen all at once. 3 sessions of 10 minutes, 5 sessions of 6 minutes, 10 sessions of 3 minutes. The brain doesn't care about the schedule. It cares about the cumulative experience. For newborns who resist tummy time, and many do, researchers recommend beginning on a caregiver's chest. The warmth, the heartbeat, the familiar scent, all of these make the prone position feel safe rather than threatening. From there, the transition to the floor mat becomes easier week by week. A study published in Physical Therapy found that infants who began tummy time in the first week of life adapted to the floor mat significantly faster than those who started at 4 weeks or later. The earlier you start, the easier it gets. This is the part that changes everything. Neuroscientists use a term experience-dependent plasticity. It means the brain literally builds itself based on the experiences it receives. And here's the critical part. It also fails to build the parts it doesn't receive input for. This is not permanent. The infant brain is extraordinarily resilient. But there are sensitive periods, windows of time when certain neural circuits are primed to wire themselves. And those windows are not open forever. The first 6 months of life represent the most sensitive period for vestibular, proprioceptive, and motor cortex development. Findings from the Child Mind Institute suggest that infants who adequate motor stimulation during these early months show patterns of neural activation in the motor cortex that are measurably less efficient than those of peers who received regular prone positioning. Less efficient doesn't mean damaged. It means the brain had to work harder, later, to achieve the same outcome. Think of it like building a house. If you pour the foundation carefully and let it cure properly, everything built on top of it is stable. If the foundation is rushed or incomplete, you can still build the house, but it takes more material, more time, and more effort to make it solid. Tummy time is part of your baby's neural foundation. You have everything you need. Here's what I want you to hold on to after everything we've just been through. You are not failing your baby by finding tummy time hard. It is hard. For the baby and for the parent watching them struggle. Every instinct you have says pick them up, comfort them, make the crying stop. But now you know something you didn't know before. That struggle is productive. That effort is constructive. Those few minutes on the mat are building your baby's brain in ways that nothing else can replicate. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need a special program. You need a safe, firm surface, a few minutes, and the knowledge that what you're doing matters profoundly. Researchers at the University of Alberta found that parents who understood the neurological rationale behind tummy time were significantly more consistent in their implementation of it. And their babies showed measurably stronger motor and cognitive outcomes at 12 months. And knowledge changes behavior, and behavior changes brains. Your baby is counting on you, not for perfection, but for presence. Show up for the tummy time sessions. Lie down on the floor with them. Make eye contact. Cheer for every shaky head lift like it's the greatest thing you've ever seen. Because, neurologically speaking, it is. Let's bring it all together. Tummy time activates the vestibular, proprioceptive, and visual systems simultaneously, accelerating cortical development in ways that no other early experience can match. It builds the postural chain that leads to sitting, crawling, and walking. It shapes hand-eye coordination and sensory integration. It protects against positional plagiocephaly and torticollis. And it does all of this during the most neurologically sensitive window of your child's entire life. 30 minutes a day, starting from day 1. That's it. That's the prescription. And you, simply by watching this video, have already taken the most important step. You understand why it matters. If this video gave you something new to think about, please take a second to like it. It helps other parents find this information when they need it most. Subscribe if you haven't already. Every week, we translate the latest infant neuroscience into something you can actually use as a parent. Drop a comment below and tell me how old is your baby, and how is tummy time going for you? I read every comment, and your question might become the next video. And if you know a new parent who's been skipping tummy time, share this with them. Not to make them feel guilty, but because now you know what's at stake, and that knowledge is worth passing on. We'll see you in the next video.